Hi, I'm Chris Poole, and I am here to go over a few judging essentials. Having judges trained, this is essential to providing a fair contest to all of our contestants. The information provided here is going to help you as a judge, whether you are new to this role as a speech contest judge, or if you have judged in the past and you just need a quick little refresher. No matter what, take a listen to the information because I want you to be the best possible judge that you can. The information provided in this video is specific to our area, division, and district level speech contests. What are we going to discuss in this training? I am glad you asked. We are going to cover the judge's certification of eligibility and code of ethics. We're going to review completing the speech contest ballot and go over protests and disqualifications. Before we get into any specifics, no matter the year, no matter the contest, as a judge, you should be using the most current contest rulebook provided by Toastmasters International and the most current forms available. If you have not yet downloaded item 1171 from Toastmasters.org, please do so. We want to make sure that you have reviewed and are familiar with the contents of the speech rulebook and that you're aware of any changes from any prior year. For every contest, you will need to review and sign the judge's certification of eligibility and code of ethics. This form, item number 1170, it was recently revised in December 2024. The top part of the form, you are going to check mark the box for the type of contest you are judging. If you are judging in more than one contest that are being held for that day's events, you can check both boxes on the same form. The middle part or the next part is going to be the contest level. Is this an area, division, or district level contest? And on the next part, add the date of the contest that you are judging here today, or in the future if it's not today. Underneath all that contest information is the eligibility to judge. This is going to be the same information that you will find in the 2024-2025 contest rulebook on pages 7 and 8. As a judge at an area, division, or district level speech contest, you need to be a member of a Toastmasters Club for a minimum of 6 months. You must have completed a minimum of 6 speech projects from the Competent Communicator Manual or earn certificates of completion in levels 1 and 2 in any path in our Toastmasters Pathways Learning Experience. You need to know that only members who have joined, this is part of that additional completion of the level information. Only members who join Toastmasters prior to the rollout of pathways in their region can apply those speeches from the CC manual towards their eligibility for judging. You must be physically present at the contest at which you are serving. This is the only exception, though, is the contest officials in the online speech contest, but District 35 is not participating this year. For the purposes of this training, I did not include the eligibility requirements for the International Speech Contest quarterfinals, semifinals, and World Championship of Public Speaking. The backside of this form is the Code of Ethics. Number 1, I will uphold the Toastmasters' core values of integrity, service, respect, and excellence. Number 2, I will demonstrate the utmost objectivity by consciously avoiding bias of any kind in selecting first, second, and third place contestants. Number 3, I will not consider any contestant's area, division, district, or region affiliation. Number 4, I will not consider any contestant's age, race, color, creed, gender, gender identity, gender expression, national or ethnic origin, sexual orientation, or physical or mental disability. Number 5, I will not time the speeches and will not consider the possibility of undertime and overtime when judging a contestant's speech. Number 6, I will support by word and deed the contest rules and judging standards. Refrain from public criticism of the contest and only reveal my participation as a judge, my selected scores, and the ranking I assigned in accordance with speech contest rules. Number 7, I am not a member of the same club as any contestant when judging at the division, district, or higher levels. Number 8, I have no conflict of interest with any of the contestants that would cause me to be biased. Once you have read through all 8 points of the Code of Ethics, you print your name, you add your member number, your district, you sign the form, and you add today's date, and you return this form to the chief judge for that contest. You can complete the form electronically and email it to the chief judge for your specific contest, or you can bring a hard copy along to the contest and hand it to the chief judge. Just pay attention to the communications from the chief judge, what their preferred method is. If you were planning to bring your completed copy with you in person and you forgot it, the chief judge will probably have a few extra blank forms for you to complete again. On the back of each ballot, there is a reminder of the judge's code of ethics that you signed on that initial form. If you happen to read that code of ethics closely, you will see that the code of ethics on the ballot form may be a little bit different than what was on that judge's certificate of eligibility. As the ballots continue to be updated from Toastmasters International, that section of the Code of Ethics for the judges on the ballot form will also be updated. As you complete your ballot, you want to make sure that your ballot is not deemed ineligible for simple mistakes. Let's review the process. For the 2024-2025 speech contest season, District 35 is holding the table topics and international speech contests. These are 2 completely different ballots with different judging criteria. Always reconfirm that the ballot you are using is for the correct contest. As Toastmasters International continues to make updates to the various materials, some of the judging forms may look slightly different from one another. This is an example of the Table Topics Contest ballot, and this is the International Speech Contest ballot. The only part a little bit different, I'll show that to you in more detail later. The top part of the ballot, this is where you as the judge, you are going to make your notes and score each contestant. These are your notes, your scores. You decide how you are going to use the prepared guidelines. You can follow the point values, make tick marks, smiley faces, frowns, write comments, whatever you need to do in order to determine the winning speaker for the contest. You can even use a separate piece of paper for each contestant and write notes. After each speaker, you will have 1 minute of silence for you to complete your scoring for that contestant. And then after the contest itself has finished, you'll have silence until all the ballots are collected. When you have finished tallying up everything, you are going to tear off the bottom portion of your ballot. This is the judge's official ballot. Make sure you complete each section on that bottom ballot. You're going to place just the bottom portion of the ballot into the envelope provided to you from the chief judge, and then you're going to give the envelope to that ballot counter. After the contest has concluded, you are going to take that top part of the ballot home with you and destroy it there. Please do not throw it away at the contest. Integrity is one of our Toastmaster values, and I doubt that any contestant is going to dig through the garbage to look for your judge's ballot. But you also don't want anyone to just see your scoring information and then question you about it. Keep in mind, you are judging our speakers just at today's contest. You are not evaluating them. If a contestant asks you to give them an evaluation, likely decline, but don't say it's because you are a judge. Judges are to remain anonymous as best as possible. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes the ballots may look slightly different as TI makes their updates. Always keep in mind, though, that you need to sign your name on the left side of the signature line and then print your name in the lower right. You are going to be printing one name on the line for first place contestant, one name for second place, and one name on the line for third place. In any contest, if there's only one or two contestants, put down those names on those appropriate lines. And I'm saying for you to print the names of the contestants. We want those names to be legible for the contest ballot counters. All right, that is it. Print the contestant names, you sign your name, you print your name. That's it, nothing else. No dates, no doodles, no scores, no rankings, nothing else. The ranking points on the right side of the ballot form. This is a reference for the ballot counters. As a judge, you do not do anything with it. Just completely disregard it. The International Speech Contest ballot has been updated, and it only looks a little bit different in the layout and size of the lines, but the same instructions apply. Sign your name on the lower left. You will print your name on the lower right. Sign on the lower left, print on the lower right, and then one name for first place, second place, third place. You may be wondering, how could a judge have a disqualified ballot? Let's go over a few options of what you could encounter for a disqualified versus a qualified ballot. We want to help ensure a fair contestant for all contestants. Don't let your ballot be disqualified. Remember, you want to sign your name, print your name. You want to add one name per line for first place, second place, third place. Once you have everything completed and it's a qualified ballot, you are ready to put that ballot, that bottom portion of the form, into the envelope provided to you, seal the envelope, hand it to the ballot counter. Putting one name on each line, first, second, or third place, who is going to disqualify your ballot. As a judge, you have to make a determination and choose that first, second, and third place speakers. Even if you use those scoring guidelines from up above and you came up with a tie, you have to decide the better speaker. Otherwise, if you have a tie on your ballot form, it will be disqualified. Another reason that your ballot could be disqualified is that, yes, you only print that one contestant name for first, second, and third place. You sign your name, but you do not print your name. Your ballot is disqualified. Yes, I know this is very trivial, but we are going to follow the rules. Another example that you could have a disqualified ballot. You decide, hey, I'm going to help those ballot counters. I'm going to add those rankings with the names. Nope, you guessed it. Your ballot is now disqualified. Another example. This time you decide you're going to bring those scores down from the top of the ballot down and put it next to each contestant. You want to show everyone, or those ballot counters, that you had a tie. You broke your own tie. You guessed it, disqualified ballot. As we move from ballots that are all qualified, now we can move into protests. Protests are a serious matter. They must be handled promptly, efficiently, and fairly. There are several reasons why you as a judge or even a contestant can lodge a protest. Let's review those. Protests can only be lodged by the voting judges or the contestants, and they must be lodged with the chief judge or the contest chair before the contest is adjourned. The chief judge, the contest chair, the voting judges, and contestants, they cannot consider any protests from the audience members. So if you hear rumblings from people over at another table, do not take that into consideration for a protest. Protests are only limited to the originality, the eligibility, and the reference to another contestant or their speech. Before a contestant can be disqualified on the basis of originality, the contestant is given an opportunity to respond to the voting judges, and then a majority of those voting judges are going to concur in the decision to disqualify or keep the contestant qualified. The contest chair can actually disqualify any contestant on the basis of eligibility, and all decisions of the voting judges are final. Protest 1 is based on eligibility. As I just mentioned, the contest chair can disqualify a contestant on the basis of eligibility. To be eligible to compete in any speech contest, the contestant must be a paid member in a club of good standing. The contestant must maintain eligibility at all levels of any contest, and if at any level it's been determined that a contestant was ineligible to compete at an earlier level, the contestant must be disqualified, even if that ineligibility was discovered and corrected. They will still be disqualified. Additionally, to compete in the international speech contest, a contestant must have completed levels 1 and 2 in any path and pathways, or have earned a distinguished Toastmaster designation. Another protest can be made on originality. And what do we mean by originality? Substantial originality means the speaker has attributed materials to their sources and must use their own words and thoughts rather than just simply paraphrasing something that they've heard, said, or read. Contestants need to make the subjects their own and express their own perspectives. If more than 25% of the speech is not original to the speaker, it can be protested. Keep in mind that if the speaker gave this speech at a club or another contest level, it is still original to the speaker. And I say that because I have had that protested before in the past. For content that is not original to the speaker, the sources must be cited. Who said the quote? Who conducted the study? It could even be something as simple as, oh, I was scrolling through my Facebook page last week. I came across this meme that said, ... Give that source of where the information came from. Third protest. If a contestant references another contestant or another contestant's speech at the same contest in which they are competing, the speaker can be disqualified. The chief judge or contest chair can actually declare this as an automatic disqualification. You can still inform the chief judge you have a protest. Sometimes we may miss something, and it's always good to have that backup. Timing is not anything that can be protested. The chief judge is going to review the timing sheet. They're going to confirm if each speech was within the targeted time frame for the contest. As a judge, don't be concerned at all with the speaker's time. Don't pay attention to those timers. But for your information, a contestant can be disqualified for going over or under their allotted time. They have to meet that minimum target time. Table topics is a 1 to 2 minute time frame. Disqualification will occur if they did not meet that minimum time of 1 minute, or if they go over 2 minutes, 30 seconds. International speech contest is 5 to 7 minutes. The contestant will be disqualified if they do not reach 4 minutes, 30 seconds, or if they go over 7 minutes, 30 seconds. We just discussed disqualifications, but you may have heard of other issues or concerns that may or may not be a disqualification. And I want to review a few of these concerns that are not disqualifications for a contestant. The speaker leaves the designated speaking area. This is not a disqualifying factor, but as a judge, you can actually mark the score lower based on the criteria for the delivery of the speech. Contestants are free to choose their topics, including political or religious topics. As a judge, you can score speeches lower if the speeches are offensive or if they fail to connect with the audience. Refer back to the guidelines on the ballot for speech value and effectiveness. If a speaker forgets part of their speech or they pause way too long, this could affect scoring for the delivery or the audience engagement, but this is not a disqualifying factor unless if the speech ends up outside the time limits. Contestants are allowed to use notes and props. Over-reliance on notes could affect the scoring in the delivery and audience engagement. Props must be managed safely and fit within those time limits and the stage area. Contestants can present serious, humorous, or even a mixed tone type of speech. As a judge, you are going to score them on how effectively the message is conveyed. You might be wondering, how do I actually lodge a protest? Well, that's pretty easy. The chief judge, when you have your in-person briefing, will let you know the specifics of how they want to learn about your protest. A couple of examples, things that I've experienced. One is that the chief judge will include an extra little slip of paper in with your ballot envelope with the word protest written on it. If you have a protest, include that slip in with your ballot in the envelope for the contest. When the judge opens and the ballot counters open up your envelope, they will see that, know that there is a protest. Another option, you can just simply go and talk privately with the chief judge or the contest chair and share your protest information. If you have a protest, it must be made before the winners of the contest are announced. Once the winners are announced, no changes, no protests can be made. If there is a protest, what is the process? The chief judge needs to investigate the issue. The chief judge will usually ask the contest chair to be part of this investigation. If the protest is based on eligibility, the district reports for payment and/or speech credit are going to be pulled up to verify. If the protest is on originality, the chief judge will usually talk with that protesting judge first, get a little bit more info why they think that there is an issue on originality. Then all of the voting judges and the contestant will be pulled in together. The contestant is going to explain the question of why that judge had protested on originality, then will leave the room. All the judges then will remain, discuss the issue, make a final decision to disqualify or can let the contestant continue. If a protest is made as a reference to another speaker or their content of their speech, the chief judge, the contest master, can deem the contestant disqualified. But this is good practice. Lodge the protest yourself just in case that chief judge or contest chair missed the reference. As a recap, our video here today, we talked about some of the essentials of being a speech contest judge. We talked about your certificate of eligibility, the code of ethics, completing your ballot properly, and protests and disqualifications. There will be a separate training video if you want to watch on different ideas to be a good judge, as well as delving into the details of what's in that judging criteria for the international speech contest and the table topics speech contest. As you step into your role of a judge, I want you to remember it is your objectivity and fairness that plays a crucial part in creating a positive and rewarding contest experience for our participants. I want to thank you for your dedication and best of luck as you contribute to the success of the speech contest. We'll see you soon.